couple of weeks ago we set out on a In Search of Lost Highways video, and I introduced a little bit of the Surbat Foothills recreation area, and we were getting out towards we ended that up on the cliffs overlooking the 19th century Stockton Hill Wagon Road. Well, today we're going to finish that trip by going out in search of the road itself, hike a bit of that road, and we are going to also take a look for the old Tagert Road. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but it's part of the morning walkabout with Jim situation. Taking a little bit of a side trip. Most people go down to the trailhead at White Cliffs. We're gonna go this direction out here around the golf course and the new suburban sprawl that is sweeping the area here. Give you a point of reference: Country Club Court, Country Club Drive. Now up here where this tan house is, that'll be part of the old road itself. You know, I've been, like I say this often, but God bless, I love this country. I've been out in this desert so damn long that I am one of the dry roasted nuts. I live here on purpose, come summer or winter, because I don't think a one-eyed blind man can really take a bad photo out here. That's nice. Now the road we're driving on is part of suburbia today, but this was part of the 19th century, the White Cliffs Road. And also, apparently, the Taggart Road followed this particular canyon over to the other side of what's now I-40. This road will take you all the way downtown Kingman. Believe it or not, Route 66 in downtown, as the crow flies, about 3 miles that direction. But for our purposes, we're going to do a walkabout. So, with that said, let me get my gear together, and then we'll get started on our adventure.
Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a 2-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.
Initially, this particular road here that's got you can see it's had a lot of traffic. That road is part of the old wagon roads, but it's mostly ranching from 20s, 30s, 40s, not even sure the years. But now it's difficult to find sometimes in the desert the old roads. You have to kind of develop a knack for it, I suppose. You get used to seeing things. Believe it or not, right here where we're at now, this would have been part of the old Stockton Hill Road. I'll give you a little bit of background here. The Stockton Hill Mining District, one of the older ones here in Mojave County, dating back, oh gosh, sometime around the 1860s, early 1870s. At one point, one of the richest mines out there was the COD mine. And there was a small mining camp that developed there, known as a lot of people today call it Stockton Hill. Is actually Stockton. Get to the story in just a second. Take a look here. Notice how there's a flat ledge here. This was the road itself where this had been cleared and kind of cut. As a point of reference, there's the Radar Hill military establishment that was set in the 1950s. And right up on there, that's that ridge line where we ended the last video of In Search of Lost Highways. Kind of give you an idea. Well, let's continue along the old road here. Stockton, like a lot of the mining camps here in the Surbat Mountains, had ebbs and flows. A fairly busy, prosperous community, 1870s, petered out a little bit, boomed again. The silver crash, silver market in the 1890s. The town kind of died out, picked up again, ebbed and flowed, and mining activity continued in the area off and on, well up into the 1970s and early 1980s. Now, here where we're at right now, you can see that the old road, the road above it, the one that was well traveled, when that road was cut, a lot of the rocks and the dirt was pushed down on the old road. So it becomes kind of difficult to even see any traces of the road here. Now the White Cliffs Road, it's really Stockton Hill Road, with a little bit of discernment, a little bit of sleuthing, if you will. Stockton Hill Road today runs from Andy Devine Avenue, which is Route 66, at Wallapai Mountain Road in the Dam Bar, and continues all the way out to County Road towards Meadview and Grand Canyon Western Ranch. There's a small section of paved road downtown called Stockton Hill Road, and in between was this road. This road was put in to connect the mining camp of Stockton with the railhead here in Kingman. Now you can get a better view here. This is the old road here, obviously washed out quite a lot. This road was put in the mid to late 1880s. Had a relatively short lifespan as a major thoroughfare. But it continued serving ranching and mining in the Surbat Mountains for quite a few years. Stockton was, as the crow flies, probably about 12 miles north of Kingman in the Surbat foothills, overlooking the Wallapai Valley. Now, all of this today is part of the White Cliffs Wagon Trail urban trail system, mountain biking and hiking. This is an extraordinary urban paradise. As you saw in our first video, we started at the golf course, and here we are. It looks like you're in a desert wilderness. Excuse me. There's another section of trails. We'll do more. We've done some exploring. We'll do more soon. Over in the Surbat Foothills Recreation Area along Highway 93. That's on the Beale Wagon Road. Beale Springs, Coyote Springs, Johnson Canyon, back in that country. There are plans to link the two trail systems. But here we are. It looks like we're in the midst of an Arizona wilderness. And we are literally, 2 miles from downtown Kingman. But you can see why I enjoy this country so much. This is an easy place, even if my schedule is busy, especially during the summer. I can come out here at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, beat the heat, get in 2, 3, 4 miles, clear the head a bit, and just enjoy myself. Now, this shelf we're walking on was part of the old road. You're going to be really surprised. If you're followers of Jim Hinckley's America on Instagram or Facebook or the website, jimhinckleysamerica.com, then you've probably seen lots of pictures of the wagon road itself. But the first time I bring people out here, they're always kind of amazed by this. Originally a park was built here. There was an attempt to make this a nice little city park in the late 1960s. The Job Corps, they came out and built a trail system and put in picnic tables and a few things of that nature. The stone is relatively soft here. It's called a tufa stone, and you can clearly see the ruts worn in the rocks here. This curves all the way down to the really nice trailhead with drinking fountains for you and for the dog, and the parking lot that was put in by the city of Kingman. The trail system has been developed by the Colorado River Area Trail System, and Kingman Main Street often spearheads cleanup. Comes out on weekends. It does a bit of cleanup. Well, now we're going to head back in the direction we came, which is roughly east. And we're going to go out and look for the Tagert Road. I have found remnants of what my best guess tells me is the Tagert Road. But to be honest, this is a really vague chapter in Arizona history. The Taggart Road, the only thing I even have on it was one paragraph. I believe it was 1886-7. One paragraph talking about construction of the road to as a shorter and better route from Kingman to Mineral Park. Now, Mineral Park was a mining camp in the Surbat Mountains, and that was county seat of Mojave County for a short spell. It was totally erased starting in about 1963, when an open pit mining operation erased the town site. They did maintain the cemetery, and there's 3 mining camps right there. 2 are gone: Surbat, which is also a county seat, and then Mineral Park, and then Chloride. Chloride is still a small little town, never the county seat. But it's a fun little stop right off Highway 93, which is the road headed for Las Vegas, Nevada. Chloride's about 15 miles out of Kingman if you want a little side trip. Now, like I say, a lot of these old roads have been incorporated into this trail system, which makes it a relatively easy trail hikes. You can get up like we did in the last video. Some of the trail system goes up on top of the canyons and provides some pretty spectacular views. The Taggart family was involved in all kinds of early Mojave County and Arizona history. For an example, when the county seat was relocated to Kingman, the first courthouse was in a Taggart mercantile building that was apparently like a general store and offices. This would have been on Beale Street in downtown Kingman. And then they built a wooden courthouse at the site of the Mojave County Courthouse today. Beautiful, beautiful 1915 building. That's up on the corner of Spring and 4th Street, downtown Kingman. And Taggart then built a new building, and he moved that building off Beale Street around the corner onto Front Street. Front Street became Andy Devine Avenue in 1955. Talked about that in other programs. But and that became the commercial hotel there on National Trails Road and Route 66, well up into the early 1950s. Now, as you can see, this obviously has had a lot of traffic, and this is part of the old ranching roads in this area. There's no real ranching done at this time. But now, what we're going to take here is this road, which hasn't had a lot of traffic, as you can see, in decades. And my research is, I'm going to be very honest, is turned up little. The Tagert Road from Kingman to Mineral Park joined the Stockton Hill or Stockton Road and went through the canyon where we started. And then they branched just about on the other side of where I-40 is. If you're going west on I-40 and you look to the left, you'll see where we parked the Jeep. And then to the right, you'll see an old road going through the canyon. Well, the Taggart Road continued through that canyon and up Johnson Canyon. We'll do that in a future video. And there's more traces of a very, very early road. But you can see this is quite an old road. This has not seen use in many, many, many years. The road from Kingman to Mineral Park, the so-called Tagert Road, it wasn't in use very long. And what I have trouble with is where this connected in Kingman exactly. And why it seemed a better route out of Kingman than the Stockton or Stockton Hill Road. I really don't, it's just all quite vague. But Taggart did a lot of things here, the Taggart family. They ran stage lines, mercantile companies, freighting companies to all the mining camps.
Are we still good for the temple like next month or next week?
They were quite a big and prosperous family. Interestingly enough, the Taggart house still stands down on what is now Topeka Street. Used to be South Front Street. And it is believed one of the oldest houses in Kingman. This trail system is pretty spectacular back here. Provides you with some kind of an urban wilderness feel, if that makes sense. If you do this during summer months, try to do it early in the morning. Beat the heat. Please carry water. If you don't need it, someone will. You're not that far from town, but always have water. And just pay attention. People ask me a lot about rattlesnakes and things. Well, yeah, they're out here. But if you pay attention, you shouldn't have any problem. Don't go wander around in the brush. And stick to the road. See that ridge line there? That's where we were into the last video. It was right up in there. We were looking down on the old roads. Of course, the golf course and everything's back that direction. There's a rat's nest of old roads back here, and they're all early to mid 20th century roads. And you can adjust your hike here, whatever you like. Obviously, it's not wheelchair accessible, but for moderate walks, you can just simple stroll, or you can get into some pretty strenuous hiking and mountain biking. It really depends on what your interest is. We won't do this morning, but if you continue on this road and you follow, then it turns into a trail around the bend, into a small clearing, a small valley. You can come out over by the Hilltop Motel, 1950s motel on Andy Devine Avenue, Route 66 up near the Dam Bar. Here again, now you can see the old road. It's washed out pretty bad in places. A lot of work went into this construction. And a lot of work went into pulling freight wagons through here. Really, really nice out here. I just, and the earlier in the morning you come out, the better. If you want to do any kind of wildlife viewing, believe it or not, there is lots and lots of wildlife out here. I scare up herds of deer most early mornings. I've run into badger and fox, all kinds of things. Now here you can see some of the trails that the Colorado River Trail Alliance has put through. Great mountain biking experience, great hiking experience. Like I say, this is right off Route 66. There's the old road. So that kind of gives you an idea of a little bit of a pit stop. Hey, we're going to do this again real soon. Join us for another episode. Meanwhile, don't forget our Coffee with Jim podcast on Sunday mornings at 7 o'clock and Jim Hinckley's America, JimHinckley'sAmerica.com.